we may have the whole week fine.
Yeah.
If we do not quarrel Sunday morning, it will be immediately after service.
The service.
Either on our way coming back or immediately when we get home.
True. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always and always coming back. Okay, so today, as I promised, I am with my husband. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Wale and it's great to be back again.
It's great to have you here. Looking all suited up. Now we'll get this fine man. Hey, now we'll get this fine man.
May the Lord forgive you. Amen.
I forgive you too. Anyways, guys, so we'll be answering some of the questions you guys asked about our relationship. Yeah, I asked you guys a few weeks ago to ask us whatever questions you guys want to know about us, and it ended up being like very intrusive, like a lot of intrusive questions, like especially this one particular question. Everybody wants to know. I don't know why. The age difference, and I will not answer that until the last, so you have to watch it to the last question. Okay. Anyways, are you ready, babe?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So I'm going to be reading out some of the questions. Since it's not a secret and it's open, I'm just going to be calling out your names. Okay, so first name. So Monica asked, she said, since you guys were dating long distance, what was the best strategy you had that kept you guys till you got married? And what advice would you give someone who is on a long distance relationship? I think we did a video on how we survived the long distance, what we did. So I would really advise, I'll leave the link up here. I really advise that you watch that video. I think we discussed almost everything that we did, you know, during our long distance relationship.
All the process.
Yeah,
everything.
and what you should do also. But she asked what was our strategy. I don't know. Did we have any strategy, babe?
I think not really, but if we capture it simply, I would say we knew what we were going for from the outset, so and we stuck to it. So of course there would be ups and downs, there would be different stuff, but how do I put it? Setting our goal from the outset made it easy. At least we knew what we were going for, and
we stuck to it. It wasn't easy, and it's never easy to stick to anything. And sometimes it's even easier to think that, oh yes, I want to marry her and whatever, but are you really sure? Because honestly, if it was left to me, if it was just, well, I don't think that's the situation, but if it was left to me, probably this wouldn't happen, because every relationship, even short distance relationship, has issues, right? Not to talk of when you're long distance. It means that whatever effort you put in a short distance or close relationship or no distance relationship, you have to do double the effort, right? In long distance, we talked at length about when we were even outside the country. We didn't start dating when we were in the same country. I was in Ghana when we met, so there was the hours difference, 1 hour difference, and then I traveled and there was hours difference. You understand? So
5 hours, 6 hours.
So that determination, just like my husband said, that this is a person I want to marry, you know, helped us. You know, there are times I'm like, oh God, I don't think I can do this. My husband was saying, no, we said we are doing this and we're gonna do it, and I'm really glad that he did, right? I think one issue or one thing, babe, that, you know, people usually talk about when they talk about long distance relationship that makes people scared is, you know, about cheating, about, oh, how do I know what he's doing? How do I know what she's doing? Did we have that in our own relationship? Okay. Were you ever wondering what was she doing there?
No.
Why?
That's what I wanted to say. Although we'll end up answering this question and the person won't watch the video anymore. Yeah. But I think it came down to communication. I'm not a very open person, and I don't say much or talk much about my thoughts or my feelings or whatever. But my wife was very insistent on constant communication. Constant communication was hard for me. Making calls
it was stressful for him. I think we talked a lot about this in that video. Very, very hard for me.
I'd prefer to chat or send texts. But so that made sure that it was a lot of struggle adjusting, but once I adjusted, or once I found a way to adjust, it became a lot easier. So at every point in time, we can easily see, without confirming from each other, I can easily say this is where she is, and she can say this is where I am. We knew each other's routine. We know when to call, where the person would be, what the person will be doing, and all that. So, but of course, trust has to come to play, and all that too. So, but in all, that's why I said, if you know what you're going for, every other thing can follow it. So if you know that this thing is going to lead to this, everything that is necessary, because I struggled with communicating, I struggled with making calls and all that, but I realized that it's something I needed to do, so I had to make the compromise and all that.
And also knowing that you actually want this person, you're determined to do whatever it takes to make sure that, you play your part in ensuring that the two of you actually achieve what you want to achieve. So I think my husband said it all. Did I have that, where is he doing, what is he doing now? If I ever wanted to know what he's doing, I just call him, what are you doing? If I want to know where he is exactly, I do video call. Like, that's the thing, and it will peak. You understand? So I think just focus on, if you guys decide that this is what we want to do, right? And I know him before I decided that, okay, and that's why I always say start from being friends, okay? From our friendship, I can, even whilst we're friends, I can tell what he's doing, where he is at, what time he closes and stuff like that. I already knew those things, even whilst we were friends, okay? So it really helped us to progress. For any reason I was having any doubts, because trust me, we are not angels, okay? There are times that, yes, you said you are in the house, but I'm hearing some sound. What's happening? I call video call. Oh, it's in the house. It was actually the TV. So those things actually help. It is better for you to confirm than to let the thoughts to linger, because trust me,
and fester.
Once you don't try to address it, it will start. And if you have imagination like mine, I think I've told you guys like how really bad my mind is. That's why I'm even surprised today how we're able to maintain a long distance relationship. Like literally, I can imagine a whole movie scene that never happened. You understand? So because of, I know, my proclivities and the things that I'm, that don't be you teach me. Actually, I actually learned that from you. It allowed me to. So because I knew those things, I was like, whenever anything, I just call video call. So, and he never found it like, strange. He never took it as, you don't trust me. No, my husband, but I don't think we ever had that situation where you don't trust me. That's why
I understood why. Why those things happen. I mean, in fact, I remember my previous employment, there was a guy, IK, that once made a remark, off the hand remark, like that your wife will be FBI. I said, why? He said, because every time she's on call, she's saying, who is there?
Yes.
Like, she knew literally everybody in my office without knowing them.
Yeah.
So when I say this person, she knows who the person is. When I said that, like,
literally, even the people that don't work inside his office, like, were just around. Like, I knew them, because once they come, I'm asking, who is that person? To the point that even when someone was falling in love with my husband in his workplace, I told you, this girl likes you. When everything opened, you said, how do you know you're a witch? You understand?
Actually, I don't used to notice like that. I don't used to notice like that.
Yeah, so, at the end of the day, just communicate, just communicate. If you have any doubts, tell him, ask him. Whenever I have any doubts, I call you, God, this is what I'm thinking, what's happening? I don't hide my thoughts from him, no matter how. There are thoughts that my mind, or maybe will feel I don't trust him. No, let him feel that way, but let me clarify, let me have peace of mind. You understand? And I think he got to know that about me, that I'm very inquisitive about stuff like that. And me, I don't wait for him to ask. And the reason I have to ask is because my husband will not volunteer the information if you don't ask him. But me, I will tell you what I'm doing, what I'm eating, what I'm about to cook, and everything. My husband doesn't have time for all those things. You understand? So communication and determination that we want to make this work. Okay, even when we face the toughest, the toughest challenges in our relationship, our determination to make it work and somebody's strong head, actually helped our relationship. So you need to be determined and communicate. Like, I
take the strong head as a compliment.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, this one says, what is the age difference? Wait to the end of this video.
I don't even know why people are
I don't know, like so many people.
Can you shorten or increase it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I think people, attribute some kind of regard and respect to people based on their age. I think it's an African thing, right? And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to say it, because I don't know. But
it's even you that wants to say it. It's me, I won't answer.
Anyways, so the second question, this was asked by a Nonsiba. I hope Nonsiba. I think so. Okay. Sorry if I mispronounced it. The next question she asked was, what did you study in the university? I studied communications, strategic communications. And my husband,
I'm a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, so he studied law.
Among other things. But I studied law. Yeah.
Monica. Okay, no, I think I answered Monica's question. Okay. A second question was advice. I think we already gave the advice and we already talked about ours. And then Ruth Rose Afolayan. Sorry, why am I calling all her names? So Ruth also asked, were there any strategies you used to identify your partner? What's with you guys and strategies?
To identify.
You used to identify your partner was the right person for you.
This would amount or lead us to going back to videos we recorded.
Yeah, we recorded. You guys need to watch those videos, but we'll give you the summary version.
I don't know. You have to find out for yourself what you want.
But for you, did you have any? How did you know that I was the one for you?
It was, for instance, like that's one of the reasons I was referring to the video. For instance, I had seen her. I had started following up with her for over a month before I even spoke to her at all. Because I don't pick interest in, especially it was on social media, it was on Instagram, so I don't talk to people until I'm sure that I want to talk to you, because if I start and I'll just feel like, what's the essence? I like to check and all that one. So I started following up, I started watching her, I started seeing her and all that one. Then I started talking to her as a friend. Then I saw that, okay. So one of the reasons I'm saying that know what you want for yourself is, if you know what you want for yourself, it's easy for you to figure that this person is, is this. So, okay, this is good enough to start with and all that. So she dots the I and crosses the T. And
for you?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I kind of already had glimpse of the person I'm going to get married to, right? Right from when I was a teenager, I already knew that whoever I'll get married to will be living in Abuja. Like, I've known that since when I was a child. I forgot about it. But when I met him, I don't know, the Holy Spirit reminded me. I always knew I was going to marry someone very much older, not very much older, not like old. Like, I actually thought I was going to marry a divorcee or someone that, a widower or something. Yeah, but God said no. Mercy said no. But I knew for a fact that I was going to get married with someone advanced in age. That's why yesterday night when you were asking me that question.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, guy, you don't know. You don't know. So yeah, I've always known that I was going to get married to someone quite older than me. We live in Abuja. There's certain traits, okay, that through my prayer and my time with God, I already knew that my husband would have, right? And when I met him, it ticked, a lot of the obvious boxes that God had already revealed to me, or that I had already known through my spirit. So, and then when we got to know each other also, we spoke, we connected on a level that, I don't know, it was just, it was just personal. Of course, there was a lot of initial that when he asked that, I told you guys, like, I didn't know if I was going to say yes, because I was also afraid, you want to get married now? I'm not ready to get married, and a lot of things that happened. I think we discussed that in those videos, and how we decided. And he told me that, hey, let's just go with the flow, okay? And whatever you're trying to achieve, you never can tell. God can make it to happen sooner. And I told God, these are the things I want to achieve. But if you decide marriage for me now, then I'm trusting you all. I'm going all in. And eventually, the time we thought we were going to go get married, we didn't actually get married then. But if I had, because of I'm not ready to get married, and then then I was going to call up the relationship. You understand? If I had done that, I would have just probably missed out on the amazing man that he is. You understand? So there are a lot of things, but we discussed into length into how we met. So I want you to go and watch it. We had 2 parts of that video, to really give you more perspective as to how we decided to, become one. But always, focus on God. Always ask God, is this who you want from me? I actually called my friend the day he asked me out to say, hey, this is what is happening. Join me in prayers, you understand? Because I want to get it right, okay? And then I was just leaving school. I had not been in a relationship in years, you understand? But, over the years, we just knew that this was right. It didn't mean that we didn't have our own differences or challenges didn't come. They came, but somehow through it all, God just saw us through a lot of it. So yeah. Do you have anything to add? Okay, so Ruth asked, I think, is this the same Ruth?
Yes.
Okay. Oluwatomi asked, hi fam, what kind of things should you discuss in your first few weeks of getting to know someone who wants to be in a relationship with you? And no, we talked about things you should discuss with someone you want to get married to.
Okay.
But she's asking, in your first few weeks of knowing. I think we also touch, I mean, those questions are very important. So go and watch the video. We'll talk about 10 things. Is it 10 things? Did we? I don't know. We talked about things to discuss before you get married. Go and watch that. That video actually has a lot of views, like so many comments on that video. People who actually love that video. To think that video, we almost did not record it because of the stress that night. But yeah, I'm so glad it has been a blessing. So please go and watch that video. But what do you think in your first few weeks you should know about the person? What did we discuss in our first few weeks of getting to know each other?
It was more or less introductory stuff, trying to know the person's history, their life, their background, the kind of family they came from. It's more, I like to call them searching questions.
Yeah.
You try to find out from the person who the person is, who the person wants to be, who the person used to be. And there's a whole lot of questions. Sometimes you are even asking A, and what you really need to hear is C. But you can't go direct because then it's leading. The person already knows what you want to hear. So you sometimes perambulate, you try to, all the things you think is necessary for you, all the information that you think is necessary to know about someone you want to be with. Those are the kind of things. There's a whole spectrum of questions. I don't know if I can start.
Do you remember the first conversation we had? Do you remember when? I know the day, I know what he was wearing, I know. I know initially we did a video call and the network was shaking and then we had to switch to voice call. You were wearing a white t-shirt and rosary. I remember that rosary because it was so annoying. I don't know, sorry. I don't know. But I didn't like it. I'm like, are you a Catholic? Like, stuff. Yeah, you were in Kelvin's place. Yeah, and then we had that first. And I remember he was just basically interrogating me, asking me about my career, my family, my background, and all of that. And then he ended up telling me about his background, the school, his, growing up. Like, basically, we just talked about ourselves. There was no interrogation. It was more or less, tell me about yourself, tell me about your life, tell me about your family, tell me about your background. And from there, more questions will come up. But basically, just, ask yourself, hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your background. How was your family like growing up, and stuff. Okay,
I wanted to add, if the guy is someone like me, if there's one question I hate is tell me about yourself. Because I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah. But ask me specific questions. I will give you answers.
Yeah, so just ask him, how was your background like? How was growing up like for you? How many siblings did you have? What was it for you? And and before you know what's happening, from there you talk about if there was something about him that it relates to mine. I talk about it, and then it just generate. Don't be under pressure. Just ask yourself random questions, and then go to that video we talked about. We list almost 20 questions that you guys should discuss. Your genotype, that's the C. Your first week. Especially if you are AS. Please, or SS AC. Or AC, yeah. Ask the person what your genotype is before you even start any conversation, okay? All right. The next question. Okay, I think the same person asked, how should you bring up celibacy talk with an intimate partner, a boyfriend, without it looking like an attack? Babe?
Okay,
did we ever have that talk?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I remember clearly.
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
This is one of the essence of the exploratory questions. In the course of asking the exploratory questions, you have an idea about the person's value system, their belief and their faith, the level of their faith. So it's from there you can introduce those kind of things. I mean, I can't remember if I was the one who asked her or she was the one who asked me, but it was a no-brainer for either of us or both of us that we're going to abstain and all that because we wanted to be, as Christians, we
wanted to do it right.
Yes, the parameters are clear. So the biblical tenets are there. So it was just how to finding ways to fulfill them. So we didn't have any issues with it. Yeah. Luckily for us, we didn't have to drag the issue or try to persuade the other person and all that. So those getting to this place is a function of all those exploratory questions. It will let you know if you have to start to convince the person, if you have to preach to the person, or I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You know, I've had people ask me this question in different ways, like sharing their experiences, even on DMs. Like I remember a particular lady who asked, you know, that, you know, the guy said, lie, cannot ever be with someone who is not ready to, you know, do before marriage and stuff like that. But that's why my husband said something. He said, know what you want, okay? Know who you want, know what you want. When you know what you want, you won't settle for anything less than, okay? I always say that, I always advise people that I mentor that, listen, you need to have a list. People will say, oh, list is old school and whatever. Always have a list of the kind of husband you want your partner to be, the kind of father you want him to be, the kind of partner you want for yourself. When you know the person you want and you pray, and that list is not for you to just have and hang, is to pray to God that this is the kind of person that I want for myself. When the person comes, you already know what you want, okay? You won't settle for anything lesser. I remember, I think when we started, it was the one, actually, I think you were the one who started the conversation, because you started by telling me, you know, about your sexual past and stuff, and then he asked me, and I said, I told him I didn't have, you understand, and, you know, the conversation started from there, and I told him, hey, this is me, this is what I don't want to, and I asked him, what do you think about that? And he said, you know, God help us. I remember his response was not no, and it was not absolute yes, but it was more or less like, you know, if that's what you want, okay, we're just gonna, you know, pray that God will help us. And I remember he said it would not be easy, and I said yes. But he said, I mean, but I'm sure we can make it work. That was what he told me, you know, when I raised it. And, you know, that alone was okay for me. Even if, you know, in the future, you know, as we go on, it probably didn't work out or stuff. Just that response that, yes, he's willing to, even though that's not who he is or that's not what he's used to, but it's something that he believes in, okay? And it's not that he's just doing it because of me. It believes in what I believe in. It believes in, you know, the values and the things that backs up my decision. So it's just not that he's just doing it for me, okay? Because the problem is that it might be waiting for you, but it might not be waiting with you. And those are two different things, okay? And I needed someone to wait with me, like we are both waiting. It's not like you're waiting for me to be ready whilst you are doing it with other people, you understand?
Yeah.
So exactly, so you need to know that he believes what I believe, and yeah, exactly, waiting with me. So yeah, that was some of the things we discussed, and you know, his response was just absolute. And I think if he had told me that moment that he was not willing to wait, that would have been the end of our relationship, because I was not going to accept that, okay? Never. That was one of my not going to compromise area. Of course, things might happen whilst you guys move on, mistakes might happen or whatever, but at the beginning, set the record straight. The two of you work. It is easier when the two of you are working towards it, right, than when it's just one person, because the other person will always be trying to make you to do that thing, and that's what you don't want. You understand, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, do you have anything to add?
No.
All right. The next question is from Esther. She said, while you were dating, how did you go about sexual intimacy in a relationship without sex being involved? Is it okay to kiss in a relationship? What do you think? What's the answer to that?
Okay.
First of all, before you answer, I just want to say that, listen, there's only one standard that God gave to us, and that's Jesus, okay? Nobody on social media, nobody in this life is your standard, okay? So don't make us your standard. Because we kissed before we got married does not mean you have to kiss before you get married. I say, oh, after all, you know, nobody, please, God is the only standard that you should follow, okay? So yeah, sorry.
Okay, if I remember, the question is about how did you navigate sexual
she said,
intimacy.
When you were dating, how did you go about intimacy in a relationship without sex being involved, and is it okay to kiss in a relationship?
First thing I'll say is this: the fact that both of you agree, or even are firm or resolute in your decision not to
do it,
do doesn't mean that you won't be tempted, especially if you're
it's even a bit more
close confines.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean there won't be temptation. It doesn't mean that I mean, we've already established in previous videos that it's a biological process.
Yeah,
so your body will ask for it. Everything will ask for it.
Yeah,
it now depends on how what parameters you set in place to prevent yourself from crossing the lines and all that. So you would have to work with that realization in mind, that there will be time when emotions will be charged.
Yeah.
There will be times when you don't even think it, you're not planning it, but it is happening, and the urge is there, and the other person that you, in fact, don't even count on your or on your partner being the check.
Yeah.
All the time. So be each other's check. So when your partner is being weak, even when you're weak, try and be strong, because and vice versa, you know, those kind of things will happen. Try and set as parameters, specific strictures. Maybe if you don't go visiting each other or staying over and all that. If you know that you can't hold yourself back, please don't do it. Or you don't visit and visit the other partner alone and all that and all those kind of things. If you must go, maybe if you go to the cinemas and all those kind of events and outings, you have another person with you and all that to act as check. I'm not saying that.
I don't think that's sustainable, though.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Depending on you. And how much you can hold yourself back.
Someone actually asked me a question on this, like just right now on Instagram, that, you know, they can't hold themselves, but they don't have money to get married. And the Bible says that, and her question, she actually said, the Bible says that it's better to get married than burn sexually. And they are very sexually attracted to each other, but they cannot afford to have a wedding. And, you know, I told them, go to the court. I mean, go to court. I remember then my husband actually suggested, when the burning was burning, he said, let's go to court. We don't have to tell people. Let's just go to court and get married. I said, oh God, we are not gonna get married. You have to send me out of my house. But yeah. So
it's like that. Yeah. So depending on you and how much you're burning as it is, so you'd have to decide and do all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But that's but if the mistake does happen, do not hide it. Do not hide it from your accountability partners. Do not hide it from the men of God you're under. When you have to do your marital or premarital stuff,
counseling.
Don't hide it.
Why?
Don't hide it. Man is the greatest of all of all God's creation, not because it doesn't fall, but because it can rise.
Yeah.
So don't hide it or whatever, because even the Bible says it that whoever hides their iniquity will not prosper. Don't start something like your marriage, something that beautiful, on the foundation of lies and all that. Yeah.
So I think I always say that it's even, people always say that sexual temptation is tougher for people who are not in long distance relationship, but I think it's actually tougher for those who are in long distance relationship, because yes, you always imagine when we're dating, like the desires are there, quite all right, okay, but because it's not there. But imagine when you now meet, the desire now becomes triple, five-fold. It now becomes a lot, you understand? And for us, I mean, anyways, I don't want to talk a lot about, because I don't want to even talk about it, not to even start to give people ideas and stuff. But I would say that if you can, my husband said something about setting the parameters, okay? If you cannot sleep over at his place, get somewhere else to sleep. If you go visiting, if you guys are in long distance relationship, even if you're not in long distance relationship, okay, just set parameters, you understand, for yourselves, okay, to be able to help you to avoid, certain things, okay. And like I said, it depends on your weaknesses and so if you think the feelings they become too much, maybe you don't want to even come to the house at all. You want to start seeing somewhere outside, go to the movies, go to where there are a lot of people around you. I know in churches always say go with somebody to your husband, to your fiance's house and stuff. Personally, I don't think, then where do you guys have the time to always have conversation? Because the feelings will always be there, okay. You might literally not be having feeling 1 hour ago, and the next minute it just says something or do something, or brush your hand one way, and the feeling just start to arise. So what happens? So I think what we said initially about having a determination between the two of you that this is what we want to do, we actually help, so that when I'm weak, he's stronger. When he's strong, or when he's weaker, I am able to say, oh no, babe, we already had this conversation, you understand? And he would, so just knowing that, hey, I need to work on myself, he needs to work on himself, to make sure that the two of us are keeping ourselves in check. So basically, is it godly to kiss before marriage? I don't know. It depends on your conviction, okay? It depends on what you're convicted, what your spirit allows, okay? So I'm not going to tell you to go and kiss. I'm not going to tell you not to kiss forever. But yeah, did we? Yes, of course we did. But Yeah, just know when the handshake is passing the shoulder, okay? When the kissing is becoming touching and the touching becoming this and that and all of that. But yeah, just know the boundaries, okay? I think that's basically what we can say about that without sharing too much. And the reason I don't want to share too much is not because we are afraid to share. It's just the fact that we don't want you to start thinking that, oh, they did it and whatever, so we can do this.
So it's okay for you to do it, or we are not the standard.
Yeah, we are not. Definitely not.
Jesus is the standard.
Yeah. So, okay. Sandra asked, I love your nails, so beautiful. I don't have any questions. Thank you. I've even cut the nails now. Yeah, that's it. This is a continuation.
Okay.
So, Jacob asked, I have 2 questions to ask. As a couple, I love these questions, husband and wife. Whenever both y'all have a disagreement, how do you guys get to the root of it? So let's answer that one first. How do we get to the root of disagreement in our marriage?
I think it all depends on the nature of the disagreement or the subject of the disagreement. There are some disagreements that will happen. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Because of the conflict in opinions or personality or perception. So the subject matter will necessitate, and there are sometimes when the disagreement is over something trivial or frivolous. It's just emotional overload. So at those points in time, it's not necessary to drag. Do you get? Because it's not going to yield anything good. So whoever feels the most matured, whoever feels the most whatever, should find ways. Either you apologize. I mean, I found out that most women respond to apologies more than anything. So you would have to find a way to, depending on the subject of the disagreement it will tell you what to do. So if it's something trivial and whatever like that, sometimes you have to swallow your ego or pride. Sometimes you have to, you can't stand on being right all the time. No matter how right you are, you can't be right.
You are.
You can't be right all the time. Even if you are right.
Yeah.
It's not even thinking now. You are right, absolutely right. You can't be right all the time. It won't work.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to let go. And it's not everything you argue about.
So that's why I said some are necessary, some are not necessary.
Yeah.
But depending on your personality, you have to... Depending on your personality and how aggressive you can be when you're upset. So if you're the type that is overly when you're passionate about something and it bothers you, you have to, sometimes you may not overdrag. Why? Because what you're trying to communicate will be lost. Your anger or your emotions will overwhelm you. And depending on your partner too. Some people, there is a way they like things presented to them. You may have to learn it. I have to tell you, I'm still learning some ways how to talk to my wife. And she's learning some ways how to talk to me. So it all depends on all that one. But you have to understand that whatever disagreement that is not going into improving your relationship or improving both of you is not worth it. So once you understand that and you work from that standpoint, it might even help you. It can be like an anchor. Like sometimes when you're angry and you're just angry, very upset, when you just ask yourself objectively, is this about the relationship? Does this have the potential and all that? And you can evaluate. It can help you to retrace your step. It can help you know how to mitigate or, reduce the tension and all that. I don't think there's any other fast rule or watertight classification of how to settle disputes. I think it all depends on the personality of the people involved and the nature.
Well, I will add to that. I agree with everything you said. We always talk about knowing your partner's love language. You also need to learn your partner's apology language. I remember when we started dating, my husband, instead of him to say he's sorry, it would go ahead to say so many things apart from saying I'm sorry. And honestly, I don't want to hear any other thing. When you offend me, what I want to hear is I am sorry. But when I tell him that, he will tell me that what if I'm not sorry? What if I'm just saying it out of just say it? You understand? He didn't understand that. He thought that that's just like people can just say they are sorry, and then what if they don't really mean it?
I want to mean what I say.
Exactly, but to me it does not matter.
So I've learned that sometimes it's not necessary to
Yeah,
mean
it's
it.
not necessary.
Just say sorry.
Just say you're sorry.
And let
you
it go.
understand? Sometimes, even if you don't, and don't just say sorry, say sorry and really mean it and say, oh, babe, I'm so sorry. I didn't
How can
mean
you
that
mean
and
what
all
you
of
don't
that.
mean?
You understand? No, I don't mean
I'm
that.
joking,
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
understand?
joking, I'm
Show
just
that
joking.
you're truly sorry, even if truly you don't.
Yeah,
you
show
should be sorry.
the part.
Yeah, sometimes
Play the part.
Exactly. Sometimes you just do stuff. I've been listening a lot to Pastor Mildred Okonkwo. I would really suggest a lot of her videos. She's been talking a lot about honoring her husband and how they've been able to go for 15 years without having disagreements. Not disagreement like they just don't disagree, but like shouting and yelling at each other, calling each other names and stuff like that. They've never had that in 15 years, and I'm like, well, I've just 1 year. Like, what's your secret? So I listen to her a lot, and one thing she always mentioned is that whenever you're dealing with your partner, always know that I am not respecting him, I am respecting the Lord. The Bible says that submit to your husband in the Lord, or submit to your partner in the Lord. You understand? I'm doing it to the Lord. I'm respecting him to the Lord. I'm giving him the lead, not because I think that at this moment he deserves it, but I'm just doing it for God. You understand? Everything I'm doing in my marriage, I'm doing it for God. And one thing you need to also understand is that in this 1 year of marriage, I've actually learned that the devil is actually attacking marriages. Like, sometimes when we just got married, I think our very first few weeks of getting married, we had our very biggest fights that we had to list our 10 commandments of what we would never do when we get upset, because that was like really extreme. You need to know sometimes that some of the arguments, sometimes we'll be talking, laughing all day, and something will just come up, and before you know what's happening, it ruins the whole, moment and everything.
And all that.
Sometimes you need to know it's not every argument that is ordinary. Okay, last night we almost had something like that, and that was not the time we should be fighting, because and all of those things. But thankfully, we're able to come back and pray and do stuff and all of that.
Especially as Christians,
Yeah.
you have to understand that. In fact, you have to be really sensitive. There was a time I discovered that we may have the whole week fine.
Yeah.
If we do not quarrel Sunday morning, it will be immediately after
the service.
Either on our way coming back or immediately when we get home.
True.
So after my mind recognizes pattern. So after it happened first time, second time, third time, fourth time, or sometimes because I don't even talk. I don't say many things even when I have plan, and God is still helping me in that one. Let's leave that one. So maybe sometimes I'm saying, okay, this night I want to pray by this time.
We'll fight.
2 hours before that time we'll fight.
Yeah.
And I'll end up not praying like I want to pray. Sometimes, when I became conscious of it, I started forcing myself to pray. But I discovered that preventing the fight is far off better. So there are many ways these things happen. You have to be really sensitive, and like she was saying, you have to be really sensitive that not all fights are simple, not all fights are ordinary.
Yeah. Even the Bible says that your prayer will not be answered if your wife is not happy. You understand? It's actually in the Bible. So when you actually understand how serious God takes the union of marriage, you'll be more conscious when things happen. You'll be more sensitive about issues. Okay, it's not, like I said, it's not everything that requires argument. Sometimes you just let things go, and you need to learn it. Okay, you just have to let things go. You just have to, okay, whatever, we'll just let it slide. You understand? Maybe in the future you talk about it. Hey babe, something you did that day, and I know I'm used to it. Okay, I know how to do it. When it's peppering me, sometimes I don't talk, because I don't know how to talk when I'm upset. But my husband can say that he wants to talk right now, right there.
I want to talk it out, because if I don't talk it out, it's on my mind.
Yeah, and then argument will come when he's trying to talk and I'm ignoring him, or he's talking and I'm doing something else, and he's getting upset because he's trying to get my attention and I'm not listening, and before you know what's happening, something small will be blown out of proportion. So I got to know those things, through listening to a lot of message, studying God's word and all of that, and I realized that we're not perfect. We have arguments. I told you we just had one yesterday night, okay, that we still had to hold hands together and pray and do all stuff. So at the end of the day, just know that marriages are under a lot of attack, okay, and a little argument, to say toothpaste used to make people to divorce. Press it from the middle, press it from the under. You think that's insane, but you'll be amazed the littlest thing that the devil can bring in. Before you know what, you guys should look for the message on Stephen Furtick. I remember when we were dating, I sent you that message. It was thought, what's the name? The prison of offense. Please listen to that message, the prison of offense. How offenses create a fence between you and your husband, you know, just because, oh, he offended me today, it's in my mind, he forgot my birthday, he forgot my anniversary, what is in your mind, before you know what is happening. That any marriage that separate did not start separating today, okay? It's from little things. Before you know what is happening, they pile up and they become a fence between the two of you, to the extent that now you are talking, you cannot hear each other, you cannot see each other, you are not seeing your feelings, you understand. Go and watch that message to really help your relationship. But yeah, I think that's basically there's, like my husband said, there's no hard and fast rule on how to solve, you know, issues, but knowing your husband's apology language, and you know mine is sorry. My husband, you know, if you say sorry from today to tomorrow, he wants to know why you understand. He's more logical, so you know, you give him that, you feed that, and then you always remember that whatever I'm doing, the respect I'm giving him is not for him, it is for God placed him as the head over me. God placed me as his help. God placed him as my head, so he even has the more responsibility, because as a leader you have to let things go, else you are to lead, lead by example. Tell her you're sorry even when you're not sorry, you understand. And how I'm supposed to submit to him, so you understand. So
I wanted to add one thing. We are human being. So aside from the biological aspect of us, there's the psychological aspect of us.
Yeah.
Our respective genders, we have our intrinsic need. A woman's greatest need is to be loved.
Yeah.
The man's greatest need is to be respected.
True.
So we have to operate from that standpoint. So sometimes when we have disagreement or all those kind of things, I have to understand that what I'm doing, does it indicate love? If it's not showing love, I try to recalibrate and show love. Do you understand? Sometimes it's not going to be accepted.
Yeah.
In fact, especially if the anger is still, it's not, but it counts. Trust me, it does count. So you have to understand some of those things.
It reminds me of something that we used to have when, like, talking about your husband, your wife's apology language, your husband's apology language. There are times like my husband would say, hey, okay, fine, we've been fighting now. I remember there was one who just got married. Our first week got married. We fought, we didn't talk to each other for days in the same house. You understand? Because of something little that was blown out of proportion. You understand? I can't remember what it is, like, amazingly. I can't remember what we're arguing about. You understand? So I remember that sometimes my husband would call me, okay, let's settle this and we'll talk about it. And to him, okay, yes, we're talking about it, we've settled, that's okay. But what he does not understand is that I'm expecting him to come to me and hold me and, cuddle me and stuff. My husband will sleep off. If I turned off, he's going to turn the other way and sleep, even though we are settled. And then tomorrow the fight will start again, because I didn't feel like, you were sincere in us. You understand? It's not because he wasn't sincere, it's just that he did not do it the way I would want it. Whenever I'm upset, trust me, just hold me, like, just tell me, use it to make joke, I'm over it, you understand? But that you want to stand on your rights and say, okay, now we've settled this logically, oh yeah, everybody go to, we have not settled anything, you think you have settled this, but me, I'm just starting, you understand? So yeah,
and that's
knowing
intrinsically exactly gender difference.
Yeah, and you need to communicate it, okay? He didn't know.
Because I won't know.
He did not know that I was actually expecting him to come close to me and hold me and whatever, and not just say sorry and walk away.
I had a masculine background, and for guys, we are upset with each other, and I say, I not like him, okay, no verse. It has ended.
Yeah, no before women.
But I found out that rudely that it's not the same way for women.
Yeah.
So you have to understand some of those things.
And you need to communicate it. Don't just feel like, what? It does not know. You'll be amazed how many things that men don't actually know. So you need to tell him, no matter how many times, like, I remember when we used to fight about I dress, he didn't tell me I'm dressing nice. Like now, I don't even remember. Like I don't even care anymore because I don't talk. You don't tire me. You understand? But he's not he's thinking it right, but he's not very vocal. But now he's really trying. You understand? But yeah, then he used to be really annoying to listen that I would dress for Sunday. I will be going to church and I will not talk to him. He does not know why I'm not talking to him. But I'm not going because he needs to say I look nice. You understand? So yes. So you can see the minutest things
you're talking about. She looks
nice, but he just didn't
see it. It's just me. It's my personality. I don't verbalize some things.
Exactly.
And then, aside that, what your partner needs to hear is different from how you say things. For instance, if, to me, personally, when I say something is, when you ask me about something and I'm saying, that's good, I really mean it's good. But that's not enough.
You didn't say it's very good. It's attractive.
Now, so if I tell you if you ask me about something and I'm saying it's beautiful or it's pretty, or those words mean more.
It's fine.
Yes. But my wife may be looking for beautiful.
Yeah.
But in my dictionary, beautiful is commonplace. Like for instance, I like how do you call it? I like particularized adjectives. So for different things, so it may mean the same thing, but in my head,
I remember we used to fight
I
about
interpret
that.
it differently. Do you understand? So when you say something is pretty, is beautiful, to in my head I rank it different. I rank one higher than the other. So maybe my wife is looking for pretty, and I'm saying beautiful. It won't work. Meanwhile, in my head, beautiful means is better than pretty. Do you understand? So sometimes it will take a number of time before you understand that, okay, this particular adjective works better for my partner than this particular. At this
time, because tomorrow it might not work.
Than this particular adjective and all that and all that. So it's a whole myriad. It's a whole discovery process.
Yeah. So yes, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. You keep discovering things, but always communicate. Like communication will help you a lot. There's a time I was going to say that, because you are saying it doesn't mean I will do it. I will keep saying it, okay? Because subconsciously it is registering in your memory that this is something that she likes, or this is something that she doesn't like, and stuff like that, okay? And sometimes you feel attacked because you might be thinking that you are doing your best in your own capacity, but always remember that when you are doing something for your partner, you are not doing it the way you think you should be doing it. If it is worth doing, you should do it the way she would like it. That's one thing you should always know, the way he would like it, the way he would accept it, okay? So yeah, always do things based on and don't do it. I've done my best. You've not done your best if you're not doing it the way she would like, for it to be
he or she,
or he or she rather. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so I think we'll end this video here. We'll do the part 2. We'll continue the questions in the part 2, right? Because this is already like 40-something minutes. So thank you guys so much for sticking. If you're really enjoying the conversation, please make sure you join us in the part 2 of this video, which will be uploaded quite soon, hopefully. You want to say anything?
No.
You don't have anything to say?
I don't know what to say, guys.
All right, guys. See you guys in the next one. Bye. Remember to like, subscribe.
Drop your comments, share the video, and please subscribe.
Okay. All right.